But let's get back to our conversation on the domestic front as well. With the markets hovering around that 84.75 mark, what's next in store? Lancelot D. Kuna of ITI Wealth Management joining us right here in our studios. Ruchit Jain of Angel Broking joining in to discuss some of the technicals of the market. Gentlemen, afternoon. Thanks for taking the time out today. Lance, I want to start off with you. Friday was a blockbuster move that we saw. Today also the banking counters that are actually holding on is what we've been noticing. PNB, Bank of Baroda, SPI still positive. But that's not enough to hold the market, isn't it?
Yes, I think the move on Friday was a bit of short covering,
no doubt,
followed by some anticipation that we may see a rate cut earlier, sooner than later, because the inflation numbers were a little lower. So that gave a little bit of impetus, and which is why we've seen the banking stock really hold on today. But if you really analyze the results that have come off, what we are seeing is there is some improvement in margins, but revenues in most companies have been flat, except maybe a couple of sectors where we've seen revenues actually grow, and that too it's not really significant in terms of volume, but it's more because of benefit of price that that has moved down. So given that background, it's very difficult to see where the next major trigger for the upward move could come from, because we are not seeing yet an investment-led growth for the corporates as yet. So even though engineering companies, etc., had some backlog of orders, but we've still not seen significant traction in fresh orders and fresh investment taking place. Although maybe capacities are getting utilized, so maybe down the road we could see some increase in private sector investment going forward.
I just want to get back to that point that you made regarding the way market was probably running with the hope that you could possibly see rate cut coming in somewhere ahead of policy, because the next one's quite delayed in the sense it's still a long time off, September 29th if I recollect the date correctly. The point here is there a case that if you don't get a rate cut soon enough, there is enough disappointment for the market? Because if that's what's really led to this little bit of a hope rally that's taken place in the market post the inflation data that we'd seen a couple of days back as well, then there will be some bit of disappointment if you don't get it. Or you believe that this is somewhat of a fair range for the market to hover in?
I think this is a fair range in the sense that whatever we've seen, there's no real big negative on the horizon to say that we should be selling off. It still continues to be like a buy on dips market. To some extent, the sentiment was buoyed by the announcements that were made regarding the financial sector, etc., the public sector banks. But those are really packaged announcements of things that have happened in the past. So it's not really any path-breaking reforms that we are seeing. So unless we see traction on that front, it's very difficult to find what could be a market trigger for this to move to the next level. So I think we'll be in a range-bound market for a while.
Okay, let's get Ruchit in as well. Ruchit, what are you making of it in terms of levels or in terms of a range that you're tracking? Earlier this morning, in fact, we had our technical analysts predict that markets would be a bit softer today and unable to hold on to that momentum. How do you see things shaping up from here?
Well, good afternoon. Well, probably we have even seen in the past that market breadth is one of the leading indicator which indicates the short-term momentum for Nifty. And if we just observe in last couple of days, even on Friday, we have seen that the Nifty gave a robust positive momentum with solid market breadth, wherein there was a broad market participation. And even in today's session, although since morning Nifty is down by around 40-50 odd points, but we are not seeing any such kind of panic selling or any kind of negative momentum in the overall market. So the advances decline ratio, if you see, then it's continuously since morning in favor of the advances, which indicates a positive divergence over here. And Nifty, in fact, last week has again bounced from that 8300, 8350 support zone. So probably, although I think we are trading in a range-bound market wherein 8300, 8350 would continue to act as a support. But now I think we would move higher again to the higher end of the range, which comes around 8600. So if we just observe the Nifty, then it is very much in the center of the range of 8300 and 8600. But stock specific, there are very the market breadth is positive when much positive momentum we are seeing in many of the stocks. So we are advising our clients to stay on the long side itself, since markets have since Nifty have rebounded from its 8350 support zone, and it's likely to test this 8600 resistance by the end of this week.
All right, let's take a look at some of the specific stocks that we're tracking as well. It's really all about banks today. Ruchit, let me come to you first in terms of Bank of Baroda and the kind of levels that you're tracking on it. It's completely on a roll today. Of course, a lot of brokerages coming out and saying that they expect it to be the biggest beneficiary of those changes that we've seen announced by the government. How's it looking on the charts?
So Bank of Baroda, State Bank, Union Bank, certain, these are the 2-3 PSU banks which have already started its impulsive up move since last couple of months. We have seen that it is, these stocks are outperforming the markets now, and even though Nifty is trading range bound, even Bank Nifty has not crossed its resistance levels, but these stocks have already crossed their previous resistance and have started moving higher. So I think the positive momentum would continue in these stocks, and in fact these are now the leading indicators which are indicating that there is more probability that the markets would move higher, and the range which is formed from 83 to 8600, it's likely to be breached. The higher side is likely to be breached. So I think that this positive bias due to this impulsive up move would continue in these stocks, and hence we are still positive on these stocks. Specifically speak levels of Bank of Baroda, then its previous highs of 220, 225 would act as a resistance minor going ahead. But on any dips, I think these impulsive moves which are given would be an opportunity to buy. So Bank of Baroda, Union Bank and State Bank are the 3 PSU bank stocks which we are positive on, and any dips would be an opportunity to enter long in these 3 names.
All right. In fact, since we're talking about the market outlook and a couple of the sectors to watch out for, earlier in the day, we caught up with Nirmal Jain, chairman at IIFL as well. Mini Menon was at the headquarters of India Infoline Bombay office. There are what he makes of the outlook going forward from here, and a couple of the themes that he's betting on, especially what we've heard on the banking sector as well.
See, stock market always is emotion and sentiment driven. So if you look at PSU banks valuations, they were beaten down to absolutely abysmal levels. So you had PSU banks quoting at 0.2 times, 0.3 times book. And don't forget that they are implicitly or inherently guaranteed by the Government of India. I mean, typically you don't see any PSU bank that's owned by Government of India to go bust. And still they were beaten down so much. Of course, there's NPA scare and NPA fear, which is to some extent genuine. But now what investors should look at, or maybe are looking at, are 2-3 things. One is that if you have 2-3 year horizon at least, and if incrementally they are not doing assets which are going to turn bad, then your denominator keeps growing. That is one. So incrementally, if you don't have incremental NPAs are not significant, and some of the older NPAs will also get sorted out with the efforts from the banks, some recovery in the economy, some promoters getting equity infusion or trying to they're able to get refinanced. So on the whole, things will start looking better in a year or two, but investors will be a little ahead of it. Sure. Because valuations are very attractive. Government has been a little slow in taking action, but at least now they come up with some plan.
So right now the government is addressing one in terms of management structures. It's looking at infusing a lot of fresh blood into it. But the core problem of NPAs remain. Nirmal, you started off your career as an investment analyst looking very closely at macros. So I'm going to ask you, in the last cycle, what turned around for the banks? Because it was as bad at that time in terms of NPAs. And how soon before NPAs really start, apart from the base effect, how soon does it take for NPAs to really turn around?
So it's always a cycle. As growth slows down, your inflation also comes down, the interest rates have to cut, and then there's a revival, and so macro starts looking better, interest rates are lower for a longer time, and that is what leads to revival. So I think this time also we've been waiting for interest rate cut. Sooner or later, all indicators are heading towards that it has to happen, and I think that can be one trigger. And also the macro is looking better. So both the things have to happen simultaneously, and I think that would be the, again, cyclical revival of the bank's economy, and therefore the NPAs also will look better. Okay.
I'm going to ask you to stick your neck out. Friday the markets rallied because of a rate cut hope. Between CPI and WPI, it was like it's going to happen today. It didn't happen. Since you have covered macros so deeply, what is it looking like for you? Do you think we'll have a pre-September cut in rates before the Fed Reserve, starts its cycle, or is that's the expectation? What sense are you getting?
So I think RBI governor has been talking about Fed also, that it might have an impact particularly on the currency. Because the fear is that if there's a Fed increases the rate, then all the money from the world will flow to U.S. Treasury, and that will probably mean that So I really can't comment on that how RBI will, weigh various things and at what point in time. But I think it's high time, and maybe by September we should see a rate cut.
By September, you should see. Beginning September.
Yes.
And for the full year, what is your gut?
I would say
45,
that
50?
maybe 50 basis points in this calendar year. It can come at one shot if it comes later, or it can come in two tranches if it comes a little early.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about the rupee. You mentioned the rupee. The rupee is already weak, and people are saying 66 because that's the other theme of the day, right? 65.20 odd on the rupee. How worrisome is it for a country which is a net importer?
I don't think so that we should worry too much about rupee at this point in time. In fact, a bit decline in rupee is healthy. We should not forget that China has devalued the currency and is the largest exporter of manufactured products in the world. So if we have a dream of making India, then we should let rupee slide a little bit and be more competitive in the world. And as far as imports are concerned, we are really fortunate because the oil prices are low. Oil is the largest import item. And if imports become a little uncompetitive, then there's a pressure for indigenization as well as import substitution. So that's good. And in terms of economy also, rupee, if it depreciates by the difference in purchasing power parity or difference in inflation, is healthy. So from a medium to long term perspective, I think we should factor in 3 to 4% rupee depreciation every year.
Okay.
It may not happen gradually, but it will happen in...
That's a good thing you're saying, right?
All right, you can catch the full playout at 6:30 p.m. today evening on Bloomberg Bottom Line. Many men in conversation with Nirmal Jain there. All right, back to our conversation with the market experts. Ruchit Jain has been commenting on the technicals. Lancelot D. Khuna has been talking with the fundamentals for this market as well. And let's talk about the big pocket that's the banking pack out here. We started off with getting a sense as far as those reforms and the way rate cuts could play out. But Bank of Baroda with a 15% gain, Lance, all these stocks are playing a little bit catch up. I mean, if you look at the YTD performance of PNB, Bank of Baroda, they're all still quite negative, is what we've seen compared to some of the private players probably. You believe it's still a good risk reward here?
See, one has to look at this rise in the light of the fall that we saw earlier.
Exactly. In fact, let me try and pull out the YTD charts just to put things into perspective, Lance, as to what you're saying. Let's get those YTD charts going for PNB, Bank of Baroda. There you go. That's the kind of move that it's had till probably a week or two back. The stock was in a downtrend. PNB still down 21% in spite of this gain that we're seeing as far as this count is concerned. And you'll probably pull up SBI for you as well. There you go. In spite of that rally, and it's still down 11 to 12%. Lance, please go ahead. You were making that point.
Yeah, so my point was that, since they've been falling continuously and they have really corrected such a lot, this kind of a rise is really not giving back much of what is taken. It's more sentiment driven. Yeah. You had these announcements coming in over the weekend and, then the sentiment turned positive for the stocks. So people who were waiting to buy or waiting for lower valuations to buy suddenly feel more positive and start to buy. And that's why you saw the rise that is there. But it doesn't take away the fact that nothing has really changed on a fundamental level within the banking system. So it's merely a question of perception. So now because sentiment is positive, the perception is that things are going to improve. It's only a matter of time before they improve. And that's why you're seeing early investors buy into these stocks. So I do believe there is value because the valuations are low. It will take a while, maybe another 3 to 4 quarters before you start seeing the pressures of the economic slowdown play out on the loans and advances and the NPAs. So that will take time, and you aren't seeing any loan book growth. So if you look at all the bank results this quarter, there was very little loan book growth, and if at all, there was mostly on the retail side. It wasn't much on the corporate side. So that will take 2-3 quarters before you start seeing some growth there. And at this point of time, it does offer value if you have a 2 or 3 year horizon, because when the cycle moves around, the banks will be the beneficiaries of that turnaround.
Okay. Now, the pressure on the market today came primarily from the oil and gas pack. So just want to get a check on you on that as well, Lance. We had, ONGC, for instance, down about 2.5%. Reliance also was down about 2%. Metals, of course, continuing their fall. We'll get to that later. But oil and gas, any call when it comes to some of those heavyweights?
Well, I think one was you saw the oil and gas pack rise significantly over the last quarter. We saw some decent results. The fear that is there now in the market is the rupee really depreciating, which means the import bill of the oil marketing companies would go up, and that consequently would have some impact on their profitability going forward. But that put aside, I think the oil marketing companies are in a structural up move, because now we are seeing an era where there is very low subsidies that they are being forced to bear. In case of LPG, that subsidy level has dropped. In case of petrol and diesel, it's being passed on to consumers. So now the cash accumulation in these companies will enable them to strengthen their marketing and really grow the retail presence significantly. So that makes it a good play, because if you look at valuations, most of these companies are very valued at a low multiple. So there is an opportunity. Maybe one should wait for declines and keep accumulating these companies over a period of time. They'll give good returns.
All right, let's get the market closing quotes going. We've got just 30 seconds to go for the markets to close for trade today, and it's been fairly choppy in terms of the way the markets played out. Remember, opening markets tanked almost 1%. Pull up the intraday chart and I'll just count you down to some of those stocks as well in terms of the way it's panning out. Remember, markets tanked almost 1% on straight away after opening for trade today, but then it's been all about recovery. But towards the end again, closing slated to close lower by nearly 0.5% odd or so. Stocks that lost out, Cipla earnings were fabulous, but some of the stock didn't manage to hold on. 5% knock coming in. Zee Entertainment down 2.8. Hindalco, Hero Moto, ONGC and Vedanta comprise some of the other counters. Reliance Industries also saw a knock of nearly 1.6. HDFC, no support coming in from the Standard Life stake sale that they actually saw in the life insurance business. L&T down 1.2. HDFC Bank, IndusInd, Bharti, Bajaj Auto and NTPC. It's a long list of stocks that actually lost out in terms of trade today. Remember, there are only 3 to 4 banking majors, and I'll come to that really supported the market. Beyond that, it was pretty weak, especially with stocks like Cipla, Zee, ONGC and Reliance Industries taking quite a bit of a cut today. Now, among the gainers, Bank of Baroda obviously stood out with that 15% rally that we've seen on the counter. Biggest beneficiary is what we see as far as the entire recapitalization bit is concerned. Tata Steel's up nearly 4%, and that's where it's closed. You've SBI, PNB, GAIL and NMDC among some of the other stocks that are actually gained in terms of trade today. Idea and Coal India Ava are a couple of the other counters as well that have seen a marginal bit of positive growth, but beyond that it's been pretty mixed in terms of the way the markets have played out. And you've got most of the counters from the non-banking or the non-PSP space that have really taken quite a bit of a knock today.
Mid-caps, pull up the index for you, have a look at how it fared today. Specific stocks, so Birla Corp, for instance, was up close to circuit on the back of news of acquisitions. There you have it, the indices up as well marginally today. We also had other specific stocks on the back of news. So Nithin Fire, for instance, was buzzing today. We also had some stocks like an Amaraja hitting some new highs. Shree Infra was up about 9 to 10%, for example. Mid-cap banks, so that sentiment spreading there, Indian, IDBI, Oriental, Allahabad, UBI, Andhra, the list really goes on. Those PSU names were really spiking in trade as well. Other than that, let's just take a look at what else moved from the mid-cap pack. Ashok Leyland continued to see some good moves as well. That stock has been running up. Reliance Communications, particularly after news of perhaps a buyer for Infratel, saw some gains as well. We saw JSW maintain its gains. In fact, that particular stock also saw a pretty good run today. Whole host of banking stocks, those names really went on and on. Some of the other names, CEAT, for example, was also one that was buzzing today, so worth mentioning that. JK Tyres, a lot of those wider auto ancillary companies, for instance, continue to see some amount of traction as well. Sun saw some amount of buzz picking up today, so that's another one to keep in mind. So a whole host of stocks there in the mid-cap basket that did continue to see some amount of traction coming in. Lance, we've had a pretty good run on the mid-cap side of things now for a while. Going forward, do you expect that to continue, or do you feel perhaps now it's time to take note, be a little bit cautious given the run-up that we have seen already?
Well, I think, the market has already started correcting as far as mid-caps are concerned. We have seen many of the mid-caps really, move down from their highs. So many of them are down even 10-15% from their highs. I think it's a good time to take some profits off the table, because going forward, valuations of mid-caps have risen. And what has happened is that the large-cap stocks are now really, getting to be at lower reasonable valuations. So the gap between valuations as far as mid-caps and large caps is now far higher as far as the mid-caps is concerned. So I think considering that whenever markets correct, mid-caps have a tendency to correct much more than the large caps. it would be better to stay away from the mid caps at this point in time. But every company also, there are some stock specific moves so you can't really put this as a general let's say classification, but there would be some exceptions to the rule based on re-rating and things like that, so one would have to follow.
Fair. Since we're talking about the outlook, Ruchit, want to get a sense from you as far as important levels are concerned on some of the heavyweights out here. One, if you can share thoughts as far as the Bank Nifty is concerned and what one needs to watch out for. That's going to be pretty critical over the next couple of days. And beyond that, some of the large caps, Ruchit, as well, that have been in focus today. Want to get a sense from you on Reliance Industries. You got L&T, and I was just looking at Coal India as well. It's cracked ever since the divestment bit came out as well. Somewhere around from August 4th is what we've seen from Coal India as well. So these three counters, Ruchit, and the Bank Nifty, if you've got a view on that.
So probably Bank Nifty I would start with, if you just see the recent past, that 19,000, 90,100 range has been acted as a stiff resistance in this index. And since the majority of the counters in this index are from private sector banks, it's, really these private sector banks have to move up for the breakout of this zone. Now, although PSU banks have given a decent up move since last couple of days, we have not seen such such big up moves or such indications in private sector banks. So 19,000, 19,100 is the resistance zone which one needs to watch, and I think that would be coupled with in case if Nifty gives breakout above this 8600, 8650 zone. So in both the indices, Nifty and Bank Nifty, the resistance is very near. About 8600 in Nifty and 19,100 in Bank Nifty. So probably in case if markets have to move up and give a breakout of this resistance edge of the zone, then it has to be Bank Nifty which have to take the lead in taking markets up going forward. Stock specific in Reliance Industries, we saw that after an impulsive up move, the stock is corrected in last few days, and now this entire up move which was there, the prices are trading near the 50% retracement support of this move. So I think we should get a pullback rally next week or even in this week in this stock. So probably if anyone is looking to trade in Reliance from short-term perspective, then one should take a long position even at current levels. Place a stop loss below 920, and probably there's probability of the stock going up to 1,000, 1,020 in this week itself. ONGC, if we see, then on long-term charts, in short-term the stock is clearly forming this low top, low bottom formation still. But in long-term charts, the stock is now very close to its long-term trendline support. Also, 5-wave impulsive up moves from the high has been made since in last 1 year of trading. So probably I think the stock is very near to its bottom, and I don't feel that there is much big correction left in this stock now. Although there is not much opportunity seen for traders, for short-term traders, but I think those who are long-term investors, it's a good time for them to start accumulating this stock as at current levels. I don't think this stock would give much bigger correction from current levels. So probably this is the view on certain stocks wherein we are expecting the markets to move towards the higher end of the range around 86, 8650 due to this positive market breadth which we are seeing in last couple of days.
Right, gentlemen, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon and taking us through some of the stocks in focus today. Let's take a quick look at some of what we're watching out for going ahead as well. Mithali standing by.
The Prime Minister, who is in UAE, will be meeting a business delegation in Dubai later today.